Hi, everyone. This is the Stream Working Group meeting of September, very likely. I don't remember the date. It's the 12th. This is the 12th of September. Hey. So I am Matteo Collina. Hi. And there is Josh and Irina with us. A bunch of other people might be joining at some point. I hope so. Anyway, let's get off the first, some of the first items from our meeting and at Node Interactive. There's still a lot of discussion going on how to stop using underscore readable state and underscore writable state everywhere in all the code base. Of course, still discussing. I hope to get a resolution on that before at the next TSC meeting. Is still open in the air. I still haven't do all the cat herding to get to call for a vote at this point, and either we keep it as it is and stop. Hey,
sorry about that.
Hey, Calvin. Yeah, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Fantastic, you're live. We are all live on YouTube.
Excellent.
So, yeah, I was just filling up the agenda for today. The first item on the agenda, we have readable state underscore readable state and writable state underscore writable state, and it's still blocked. All those PRs, okay, are still insanely blocked because of some non-agreement between collaborators, and I hope to call for a vote at the next TSC if there are no other if there is nothing more important to discuss, which might be considering the time of considering the movement in the Node core at this point. Then what we have, I don't know. Do you have folks? If you are curious or anything about that, I just put it there because it's still running. Okay. I don't know if there is anything that you want to add, folks, to this one, or do we still all agree on that approach? Is there anything that you have to say?
I mean, for the underscore readable state and underscore writable state, I mean, I don't care. Like, people requested it. They said, like, and then they're like, okay, and then we go to do it, and they're like, well, I don't know about this. So it's just sort of like, we can do it or we cannot. I don't really care.
Yeah, Sam is, yeah. Sam Newman is coming, seems so.
Like, I mean, you're probably just gonna get it to vote, and it's fine.
Yeah,
go through that, but like, I mean, the suggestion is valid.
Yeah,
it seems like people are mostly using it anyway.
Yeah.
API, so.
Yep. So let's see if. Let me just ping Sam. Well, whatever. I hope he joins. Okay. Hey, Sam. Sam is joined.
Hi.
This is full of us. I love it. This time is for everybody's in. I did a good job at cat herding everybody. I'm very happy. Hey, Sam, can you hear us? We can't hear you very much, but you are there. Fantastic. The next point is, do we want to bump the major of readable stream for Node 9?
So I had a question about that. What did you want to go into the bump of the major? Right now, all I see is the high watermark issue.
Yes. No, there is the high watermark and generic bump removing of supported version of Node and browsers and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like, it's if we decide to do it for a reason, we do it for a reason for everything. Okay. At least my point of view. So we have like things like IE9, stuff like Node.js that are not nice bits, which are very tricky to maintain. Okay, I'm fine and keep going. I'm not saying we should not keep going. I'm just flagging it that at some point we have to make a decision on when we want to do it. And
when's version 9 versus version 10 getting released?
10 is next April.
Okay. It's just version 9 so far. Okay.
Version 9 is in October.
Okay.
So we might go 9, 10, 11. It's good. At some point we have to like
just flip the switch. Yeah.
We will be forced to. That's the point.
Yeah. No, I get that. But I guess it's sort of related to like the last issue we have is the error messaging
yes.
that we wanted to talk about as well. And I think to me, that is also tied with bumping the major.
Yeah, very likely as well.
Yeah, so I would rather like make sure we have a consensus of what we want to go into that major and then bump it. And version 9 is coming out in October, so I'm not sure if we're going to be ready with the error messaging.
I don't know. Like I've been blocking all those work, both in string decoder and streams, because we have no clue about that. Do we just want to skip the rest and just go to the new error system, because I fear it's the most important bit from which we are being pressured a little bit. We are under a little bit of pressure right now. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah.
Do you want to list this, Irina? I know you have some notes and so on. So maybe
about the error modules. Yeah, just like it's fine for me to be consistent with Node. And it seems like James said that he has a module going, but that was a few months ago, and I'm not sure. Like, has he written something? Because it's not in that particular issue, and I was trying to ramble through to find.
The module. So it is the point. The Node system has moved from just having new error and forget about it to having a hierarchy of errors. Yeah. Especially, and more importantly than the hierarchy, is that they have a code for each error. They can change the error message without the word breaking. Okay?
Yeah.
This is pretty consistent, and this makes things way better in general to find those errors. Unfortunately, this means that all the error messages are changing, which might be a some major change for us anyway. Okay. I don't know if we can do whatever we want to do without making a Semver major on us.
No, probably not. Like, no, actually, no.
So the whole point in there, it's the new error system. So the major problem, it's all the browsers, and I have no idea on this. Okay, all the browser, you can't really mess with errors too much. Okay.
So in it's on older browsers. It's last I checked, like everything that wasn't Chrome. But this was a while ago. But the issue there that they have is the custom errors.
Yes.
But if we're just making sure to add a like if we just need to add a code property, like an error code property, that we can totally do. So we can definitely at least we can definitely support a subset of it, of just making sure we have the codes there. That we can definitely do. But some of the other stuff.
So how do we want? Yes, I agree with that. Now the question is, how do we want to do it in core itself? Because it doesn't seem easy to do it in core. Because if you look at the structure so there have been already a couple of PR for that. Let me get those for everybody.
So like, did James end up writing that module that we can do?
He wrote that module, but it has the same logic of core. Okay, so it uses the new type errors and stuff like that. Let me just try to get that. By the way, one thing got landed, and we might have to encore, and we might have to revert one. Just to clarify what's the situation. So one thing was landed because I didn't know, and nobody tagged it at stream, and they landed it, and so we will need to revert it. But it's just one error code, so it's not a big deal. So it is what it is. It is a pull request for readable. You can see this in the chat. I added it in the chat. For anybody that is watching, this is pull request on node 15.042. So one option.
Errors though. Only a subset of the errors in Node Core are applicable to streams, right?
Any subset? Can you repeat?
I was just assuming that only a subset of the errors are actually needed for streams. I mean, yes. I haven't looked at the pull request though.
Yeah, no, it's like that. It's a pull request. So we have only a subset of those are needed. Okay. The problem is the biggest problem is the fact that this is using the centralized system. Okay. In the code. So if you are comfortable in this landing, I can and then we do our magical transpilation situation, our magical regex situation that transpiles this with a new error and then the code property or not. Currently it moves from creating new error from the internal error modules. You create a new node error to some extent, just passing the code, and all the messages are in the error files now. This is it.
Calvin, you were saying in the issue when this was brought up a few months ago, you were saying this doesn't work particularly well in browsers, right, with the custom error codes. I haven't quite done custom error codes in browsers, but basically everything that Node Core is doing with error codes is not going to be applicable in any browser but Chrome. Is that the...
Calvin, you're muted.
Sorry.
Way back, last I checked, which was way back when I was working on like PouchDB, which is a couple years ago, it was very tricky to get stack traces with custom error types.
Okay.
Because there's no actual stack trace API, and it was just kind of tricky. But this could have changed.
Yeah, but even if it says change, the browsers of 2 years ago are still there. I will show this.
I mean,
yeah. Like, Yash, have you done custom error messages recently? Like, I feel like you have with some of the choose stuff.
I've tried it. Actually, I think I verified when Calvin was like, "Oh, hey, this is like hard to do in Firefox." I was like, "Okay, let me try it in Firefox." No, I'd recommend just like steering clear from it.
So, but what we can do is either, so part of it's like, what's important? Is it to have the error code, the error name?
I think probably the error code would be the most important, because people can look it up and they can find the error and the cause of it. The whole like custom error type, which is inherited.
Yeah,
we don't need that. I think, at least for browsers.
But yeah, so that's the, so we can totally do some of these features, and that's totally doable. But again, so as long as, yeah, if we can get the code, that's fine. The other thing is there's a very good chance that Browserify is going to add this. like create their own internal module that does the error codes and stuff?
Do you know, or you don't?
Well, I mean, they haven't because it's not shipped yet. But I wouldn't be shocked, especially if this is
No, sorry, I didn't understand. Do they have it already?
No, because it hasn't shipped right yet, has it?
No, it's shipped. It's shipping anyway.
Well, yeah. So it's probably. I mean, I can create an issue in the Browserify org about it, but I mean, it's probably not going to be Browserify and Webpack will probably do something for it because isn't there an external API where you can like query the errors?
So on internal.
So I thought the whole point was so you could query the errors.
Let me check. I might be very wrong about this. Errors.
I know that in like C++ and Rust, people like usually define errors externally anyway, just so you can enumerate them. This seems like a similar pattern, so I'm not sure.
That being said,
oh yes, they are all defined in the in a docs file. So they are all defined in a doc file, and I don't know if those are queryable via API actually. But
there's the system errors. Is it in the errors module thing?
Yes.
So, yeah. So I don't remember how the errors is handled in Browserify. I can look that up. I've done Browserify and Webpack both handle their stuff the same way. I've done stuff with that before. I'm just need to remember how it works.
So if we don't change, one thing to say, if we don't change the types, adding the code to the property is not Semver major. If we don't change the text, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, that might not be the way Node Core wants us to do those things, okay?
I'd be cool with just, not changing text, just adding the type.
Yeah.
Because the end result is people can find the error, people can find more information about the error, which nets the same result. Good enough.
Yeah, especially doing it early on. That way we don't, worry about the, we do it early on, then we don't have people like doing stuff that breaks in the browser when we change something later.
Yeah. Okay. So what do we propose? We propose to send a bunch of pull requests to core that does this new error system without the custom types, just adding codes everywhere.
I mean, I'm okay with you getting custom types from the Node, from when you do it when you have the Node module, but you get just a regular error when you use readable stream.
Oh, okay, okay. Do you think we can convert it easily?
There's that function that they use that we could probably just redo.
No, sorry. My problem is slightly different. So they do a new error, okay? So they do a new error. They don't use a function. Usually they create a new object, okay? So we need to replace that whole syntax with 3 lines of code. So that, or 2, where we have 3 lines of code where we create error equals blah, blah, blah. New error equals new error, then error.code, error.emit, or something like that.
Yeah, we can. That's doable, especially if we change something. If we get a change, we could see about even getting a change in streams that in Node that calls a function that makes the error, so we can just swap out the function.
Yeah, that's oh yeah. But we can swap the new error. So the function is not easy to swap.
No, I'm saying that we could put into Node a function that just creates that error.
That would mess up the stack trace, maybe. I don't know.
It would add it would add a single extra line of the stack trace.
Yes, that would add a single extra line of stack trace.
So, I mean, not great, but it's not the worst thing. I mean, that's one idea. Or it isn't. It wouldn't be too bad to add it to the yeah. It wouldn't be terrible. It would be like mildly annoying to have to add that.
Let me think about this.
Can
we just swap it? So we will need to swap it on our side in worst case.
Yeah. I mean, I've had to do weirder things. I'm trying to just look at the thing. Yeah, so there's...
So you can't just like find replace typed error with error?
No.
Damn it.
That's part of the problem. Okay. So what we have right now, what they have right now is new error and the code. What we will have to do is new error, and well, we will have to do with this new function that creates the error, get the error message before the code, set the code to create the error with that error message, set the code, and return that error.
Gotcha.
So.
Oh, yes, I get it now. Fuck.
It's that's the tricky one, and that would be if we keep the error message the same without changing the error messages, that will be somewhere not somewhere major. Okay, if we change the error message, that will definitely be somewhere major. I would fear.
Like somewhere major is fine. We already have like a list of things that need to go into the next meeting.
Well,
so it's like, but
the question is the time frame that we have is not great.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we want to do this for Node 9, or we push it afterwards?
I mean, we don't have to update readable stream immediately. Like we've taken our time in the past, like with some of the updates, and I mean that's fine. I mean, so let's not try to like hurry to do this immediately, but let's like my instinct is to wait and see what actually ships in Node, and then adapt readable stream.
Yes. Okay. No. At this point, I was up until we make if. So should I unblock Node 9, and are we okay in
yes?
In
I would say, yeah, I'd say unblock, and then
we figure it out.
And then yeah, and then we can figure out a way to do it.
Okay, I'm taking some notes. So, okay, I'll do that. I'll go around, chase these things, and that seems fine. As long as that seems fine. I'm good with that. Okay. Okay. What else do we got? We got some other things to talk about. If you want to bump the major, we can take our time. Okay. Is this We have this big question of automatic string decoding for writable string. Okay, that was opened long ago.
Haven't we talked about this one for like the past 2 meetings or 3?
Yeah. Do we make the last 2 meetings? No, because the last one we didn't talk about it because nobody showed up.
Okay, well, the May one and the one before that.
Yes. I don't remember what we said in May though. Do we want to do anything about this, or is it of any interest?
What's the added benefit from having it?
Yeah, wait a
So
second.
I have a practical use case for this, which is not to say that I think it's a good idea, but when writing browserify transforms, every single time you're going to walk over the AST, you need to set up an AST decoder instance and like pipe everything into there, and like finish it up, and then you can walk over the AST, which is a bit annoying, but it's also like not the end of the world. It's a bit of boilerplate.
So
but I mean, but isn't the issue there just that wasn't the issue there just that you have to have all of the JavaScript before you can decode it to AST?
Yeah, but I feel like it's comparable where where the person that opened this issue is also like, hey, I would like it to be decoded on the fly, so I don't have to set up an AST decoder. If I'm reading the issue correctly.
Yes.
Which is annoying, but it's, it's extra 3 to 6 lines of boilerplate you'd need to add.
I mean, yeah, or just pipe it through another transform that does that.
Yeah, could do.
There was a pull request done some time ago by
Anna.
And which was closed because nobody was doing any work, because there was a decrease in performance. Now it might be good to check it again if anybody of us would like to move this forward, or we can just decide, well, it's no big deal really. Okay. More or less, it's up to us to decide if we want to do this or not, to some extent. Okay. I can restart the benchmarks and see, because with turbofan things has changed. So, but that's what it is. I don't know. What you guys? What do we still want to do this, or do we want to do this, or should we not do it?
I'm almost 0 on it. Kind of depends if someone wants to do it.
Yes, I will. That's what I will say on this. So, okay, I will reply to this feature request. Okay, this would be very nice. Okay.
It sounds like it has a practical use case, but the question is, like, could it be achieved by, inheriting or by composition? The module just wrap it and do that on top of the stream, and it'd be
not likely. It's more boilerplate that you need to do, and you need to know how to do it. And it's
then
not.
Maybe it is something we should think about then.
Yeah, I think so. If it's more about that we need to check it. The problem is it's touching a very bad hot path, so which is the part of the problem.
So this is for when you're writing buffers and want them to show up as strings?
Yeah, yes.
All right.
No, so it's, yes.
But it's being called the code buffers.
It's called
No, what is it? Sorry. What is the
code buffers. So the code buffers into string. Before
so currently you can add an encoding, and that's which will allow you to write strings and you get buffers. Is that
yes.
correct?
Yeah. So there is an encode. So that there is a reverse. So the reverse it's that you say independently on what you have. So there is the code string false. So the code string false tells you. So whenever you write down something, even if it's a string or a buffer, it doesn't convert the strings into buffer. So this is used a lot by Node Core internals to avoid allocating useless memory. Okay, but it requires more code to handle because typically you have a big switch case block everywhere, and you can find the same switch case block in 5-6 pieces of Node Core.
All right. So the issue. So, but when you have this and you write a buffer, does it pass? So it's decode. You have when decode string is true, and you pass a string. Right. The decode string is by default true. Is that correct?
The code string, so the code string, it's by default true.
So if you set it to false, then strings just get passed through.
No, wait, so let me just clarify. Because it gets very tricky. So we have two things. One is, let me open the docs because at this point it's...
Yeah, I'm going to do that too.
It's complicated. So, okay.
Yeah, so default's to true, and it's whether or not to decode strings into buffer before passing them to stream_write.
Yes,
right.
Exactly. And then there is the reverse, which is the code buffer. Okay.
Which defaults to false, but the idea is that you could make it true.
Wait a second, because buffer to strings, okay. Yes. Yes. So it is the business, okay. The thing is, if you consider, for example, split 2, my module, you will see this logic in there, and you will see the boilerplate. So this is an example of the boilerplate that we need to do, okay? It's where it is. I'm passing it in here. This is the boilerplate that you need to do. You need to create your own string decoder, push strings to the string decoder, and then when you do flush, you put down the last bit that is left in the string decoder, okay? So in this way, when you are moving down strings, you are not blocking them into, it always stays a UTF-8. You get UTF-8 out, okay?
Yeah, because for the multi-character. So I guess
it seems that by doing that, by doing this, it seems that by doing this, it's the code buffers. Good. Yes. So the names is horrible, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because strings, okay. Chunk is always a buffer. So Anna's pull request seems to enable where is the string decoder? Oh, if there is a string decoder. So the major problem in this pull request is it adds some overhead, okay? And I don't know if it is still a problem or not. So it was blocked. It was blocked. Yeah. Pull request was blocked because of performance. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, if this can be added with negligible overhead for the cases that it doesn't affect, I don't know if I'm necessarily. I'd be in favor of it.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure about how much. I don't think it's worth much of a cost.
Okay. So I'll close the feature. Okay. And I will write down in the feature that if somebody wants to take it, is willing to take. We are happy to coach and review. We are not working on it. Okay. All good. Just me take some notes.
Also, perhaps worth pointing out that if this isn't documented well in the docs, that should be a good one to add also. Because if using string decoder in combination with streams isn't documented into docs, be like a better approach.
Oh yes, definitely.
Because it's rather common, and I think people get this wrong often. I used to up until like a couple of months ago for sure.
Okay, I'll open up a doc issue because landing the other change might be too tricky. Okay, I don't see anybody having last time I touched that area of the code, it took me like 3 weeks of work just to get something not regressing the performance. So I'm not.
And the other thing to note would be to make sure, how do you handle when somebody writes a string in that case and you have multi-byte encoding?
Sorry?
If somebody writes a string, when you have buffer decoding set to true, how do you handle strings that getting written? Like, are they just being passed through? Is it getting turned into a buffer and added to the buffer? Like, what happens when people mix?
Yes. So the part of the problem is there are two layers of buffering. Mm-hmm. One in the buffer of the stream itself, and then one in the string decoder.
Mm-hmm. Because
the string decoder can have always this leftover that is a middle cut down UTF-16 or whatever.
Yeah. And I mean, that's it's just how somebody writing a string when you have something in that string decoder buffer, how that gets handled. That will be something that anybody who wants to tackle this is going to have to figure out.
Yeah. Fantastic. Okay. Happy to coach, but I'll say that's the best one over there is just document how to do it and not touch the code. Okay. Seems tricky. Okay. Okay. Then what we have, it's this one. It's okay. So this is another old one. Okay. And this is an old one. It's in Node Core Issues 5540, which is extremely, I would call it controversial to some extent. You know that you have a code, so you have .write and .end, the two callbacks, okay? That you pass in there, they might not be called at all.
Sorry, what was that?
I passed the issue here.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it. So the issue is that the callback will not get called if you call end a second time.
Yes.
So, I mean, we're in sort of like undefined territory of like you are trying to end a stream that's already ended.
Exactly. You are trying to end a stream that's already ended, and if you call it twice, it does nothing at the moment.
And though it's almost certainly, I would suspect it would be a breaking change to make it do something besides that.
Very hard breaking change. So I am perfect. I'm proposing we are closing this because changing this will break so much code that it will not be worth it.
Yep.
Yeah, seems everybody is full of this. Sam, are you in agreement?
Maybe worth pointing out, just so the person understands that while we agree with the reasoning,
yeah,
too late.
Yeah.
I think there's no feasible way to deal with this.
Yeah, I write it down in a very gentle way. Fantastic.
Yes. Hey, I need to vacate the building within 5 minutes.
Bye, Josh.
Yep, so I'll be dropping out.
And fantastic, and thank you all. I think we're done, by the way. So
yeah, I think we're done.
We have done. So
Perfect.
So you're perfectly on time, Josh. So thank everyone for watching this. I hope we went through all the issues. I will post out some posts, write down some notes. Do you have anything to add, folks?
Yep.
No? Fantastic. Okay, thank you for our 9 viewers. Hey, thank you very much for listening to our rambling. And it was very nice to see you watching us. So I hope you have liked this, and see you next time. By the way, I'm going to Node.js Interactive. Is anybody coming?
No.
I wish. I'm sorry.
You wish. Yeah.
Vancouver, right?
Vancouver, yes.
Oh.
A long flight from Europe, yes. Nope.
Yeah, not going to make it.
Fantastic. Okay, so I'll schedule one maybe between October. We'll schedule one between October and November. If somebody else wants to do that, please welcome. Please, you are welcome. Apart from this, I think myself, Yash, and Irina will all be at NodeConf. So I'm doing some little bit self-promotion because I'm on the program committee there. So we all be there. So if somebody wants to join us and talk streams, we will probably be there in November. Okay? Perfect.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye. Have a good night. Have a good day, Calvin and Sam. Bye-bye.
Bye. See ya.
Bye-bye.